Today is Monday, May 4, 1992.
Today is Monday.
Very good.
If this year has taught me anything, it's how much more similar all these children are than how they're different. And that's a really important thing to get across to people.
As teachers, we never know what a class is going to be like or individual students are going to be like until they walk in your classroom. And so I think the first thing that I would tell teachers is don't spend a lot of time looking at their files and their records. Take some time just to look at that child and see how you see him or her in your classroom and how you feel that you are going to be able to react to that child, to educate that child, and to build a close personal relationship during the course of the year.
The key to having the whole program work is being willing to let go of some of the traditional roles that you've had in the classroom. Inclusion programs need to have support. Regular ed teachers need to have support. Everyone needs to support. The kids, the teachers, everyone involved. If that's social work support, then that's what you need to get. If that's support for adapting curriculum to the needs of a certain child, then that's the support you should get. The regular ed teacher needs to know that they're not alone in all of this, and that whoever is involved in the sport team is not going to be solely responsible for meeting the needs of this one child or this one group of children.
At the beginning of the year, we kind of thought that, she had disabilities and that, we shouldn't really play with her.
I had heard about inclusion from a variety of different sources, and it was a decision that I came to that I knew it was right for Betsy. Traditionally, this was something that's never happened before, and I really had to explain to people, that she would learn from her peers, that, role models, all the reasons that I knew it was right, and because I valued my daughter, and this would prepare her for her adult life. She had to be in the community to be prepared to live in the community as an adult. So I really felt an overwhelming amount of support from the other parents of the other children, and that surprised me. But it was probably the first time I can say since I've had Betsy that I ever felt welcomed.
Betsy has as much right to be at Spring Creek School because she lives in the neighborhood of Spring Creek as my son or any other child. I don't think she should have to earn her way here. I think she has every right to be here.
I think more people should have the same experience that we do, because they would learn more about disabled people, and they would know that it doesn't matter if you're disabled or if you're not, that you're just a person, and that's all.
Thank you. she's really trying to get more writing done, and we're encouraging her to just, if she's scribbling, that's how the writing process starts. And so she scribbles a lot, and she copies a lot, which is great. She writes to me. Vicki helps her. She writes what she scribbles, and then she translates it for Vicki, and then Vicki writes it, and then they bring it up, and Heather reads it to me. And then I write back, and I read it to her. I do it every Monday, and Rosemary does it every Wednesday.
Cool. Is that all? Yeah. Okay. Do you go by Miss Patrica?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can go. Hold on, let me write the date. Okay.
I go to Gareth's house. See over. You eat dinner. Eat breakfast.
You eat dinner and you what?
Eat breakfast.
Okay, now did Vicki help you with this?
Yeah.
Grandma slept over at my house. I went to Grandma's house. I played with my sisters. So did you go to Grandma's house or did she come to your house?
My house.
Which grandma?
Of course.
Grandma Coles. And what did you play with your sisters?
Tim, Kim, and me.
And what game did you guys play?
Game.
Any game in particular?
Yeah.
Which one?
I don't know.
Okay, let me write you a little letter back. Heather, I'm glad you had fun with your sisters. I bet it was good to see your grandma. Miss Patrica.
Why we've been able to move towards inclusive options is because of that pre-planning committee that we had that involved all of the key stakeholders, as well as an endorsement from our Board of Education that inclusion has to be and will be an option that all families have the right to.
We're not gonna do our
Let's turn it over.
okay?
Now,
We're
can
all
you
gonna take turns
take
doing
up- make
that.
a line
So what we're
like
gonna
that?
do is we're going to start in each group with the person
job.
who is sitting in.
Sometimes, like, she doesn't really listen, and she says she's mad at you and she doesn't like you anymore or something, and, like, sometimes you get hurt by that, but then she, like, 10 minutes later, says she likes you now, and she forgets all about it, so you can't really take it personally when she says that. I like helping her when she does her work and stuff. It's nice to know that you're helping somebody that needs some help.
She comes home with these books that she makes up in school. Her favorite one is I Love Pizza. And to see Heather reading is just wonderful. Okay, what's the name of the book?
I like pizza. Bye. Listen.
Okay, go on. Turn the page.
I like pizza.
Okay, you gotta move your hand there.
I like hot dog.
Yeah.
I like compass. I like ice cream. I like cupcake.
What was that?
Cupcake. But I like pizza the best.
Oh, that's great. That's great reading, isn't it?
Bryce became friends with a young man named Joel, who's about 3 years older than Bryce. While we were all busy sitting in a classroom type setting, hearing people talk about friendships and circles and networks, these two young people kind of hit it off.
Started to play with Bryce, and Bryce thought of this game, Fighting the Bad Guys, which was pretty much, it's his favorite game, where there's imaginary bad guys and we figure out different ways of finding them and beating them. And basically, all that summer we just had fun. We went to the CN Tower, we swam in the pool at the hotel, fought lots and lots and lots and lots of bad guys.
Bryce, what do you remember about the first time you met Joel a year and a half ago? You were playing with the guys? Joel had helped you what? He had helped you what? Joel had helped you throw a ball? Huh? Okay. Is there anything else you want to say at this point?
And then throughout the rest of the year, we kept in touch through email, writing letters to each other about every week or every month, and on special occasions we would call each other on the phone, like wish each other happy birthday or Merry Christmas and stuff. And then Jack and Marsha held another summer institute the next year, and me and Bryce hung out all through that. I didn't really do much of the summer institute, but play and have fun. And there was this thing they have called the Learning Marketplace, where everybody signs up to do different things, and everybody goes out and does it on their own. And me and Bryce signed up for rollerblading. And Daryl and Janet thought that we were just rollerblading in a park across the street. But really, we were hiking down about 7 or 8 blocks down to the harbor front. And
there were some adults with you.
Yeah. And we really worried Daryl and Janet for a while, but we got back on time. We went to movies and other things like that.
They shared the same likes and dislikes. They were both into superheroes, they were both into fighting bad guys, and as long as the adults got out of the way, what happens naturally happened. You can't construct friendships. You can't put two people together and say, here, we think you have similar interests, we think you ought to be friends. What you have to do is remove the challenges and the barriers from people who have disabilities, allow them to be included in the community, have them intermingle, the friendships will happen.
The key to it, though, is interaction. If you have no interaction, you can't really have meaningful friendships. And if you can get them out into the community, then you give them an opportunity to really interact with other people, and then friendships can grow as a result of that. There's no guarantee, but the likelihood is certainly a lot greater if they're in the community than if they're not.
Friends are not attendants. I don't feed Bryce. Well, if Bryce needs help, I'll gladly help him out. He's my friend, but I don't feed Bryce. I don't give him his medication or anything. We just have fun.
What really scares me is that people think it's something like a trick, or if I just do everything right, I'll get friends for my kid, or if you do a circle of friends exercise, then life suddenly miraculously is wonderful. If you put it in the IEP, you know, that my kid will have 6 friends by Christmas, that this will magically happen. Now, I do think it can happen. I do think that we can train people in certain ways to make sure it happens. But I think most of all, it happens when we sit down and talk to each other.
Friendship is one of the most important things that you can have in life. It's actually come home to me in the last couple of years because we've moved from where I grew up in Louisiana to Texas. And of course, when you move, you break ties, and you find yourself in a new place, not knowing anyone, having no social support structure. And it's at that point that it really drives home to you how important it is to have a network of friends around you who are supportive and who just value you.
You live your life, and then the network grows up around you by people who choose to include you in their family or their circle of friends. And we've had people reach out and do extraordinary things to support us by saying, you know, here, let me take Bryce for 4 or 5 hours so that you can go out. Here, let me take Bryce for 2 days so that you can go to a conference. People's willingness to look at the technology that Bryce uses. He has a stomach tube, which kind of scares some people. And he's essentially quadriplegic, which means he needs a lot of things done for him. People who are willing to say, I've never done this before, but show me how to do it and I will. It's been a real lesson for us.
There's a saying that I've heard that I really like, and that's friends are the family we choose for ourselves. And I think that really is what it amounts to.
I don't really know what to say, but all I can say is she is my best friend in the whole entire world, and God has granted me with the best sister on the whole entire earth.
We both have a health problem that we share, and I was diagnosed with it about a year before she was, and I struggled with it, and it's hard to deal with because the way you treat it is by your diet is very strict and you can't eat a lot of things. And so when she was diagnosed with it, it just added another dimension.
Well, a lot of times I go to school and kids will just be like, I hang out in the crowd where everybody notices you right at the time, and if I'm not happy, which I'm normally the most happiest person, annoying, happy kind of person in the morning, but if they don't notice that I'm happy, they kind of get a weird look on their face, which is, what's wrong with you? And a lot of times, I mean, it's good that they notice, but I don't like to be harassed that way because I don't want to always be happy. I want to be mad, I want to be sad, I want to be grumpy, and I want to have a temper.
The kids are amazing. They get it. All the rhetoric and all the research and all this stuff we do about inclusion, trying to understand this difficult intellectual concept, they get it in a millisecond. They go and play together. And you watch Bryce and Joel, you watch some of the other kids interacting. They don't understand the labels. They don't have any time for that. They just go and do it. And it's so wonderful because it cuts through all this nonsense because it is that simple. And it is that complex because it's hard work to sustain it. It's not easy. You got to make a space where the kids can meet. It's got to be a safe place. There have to be those kinds of parameters, those kind of boundaries. But they get it if we get out of the way and give them a chance. Just provide that foundation of support. It's wonderful to watch.
There's just a couple really annoying questions that people are always asking me about Bryce. And one of them is, one year somebody came up to me and said, well, can he talk? I said, ask him. And then there's another time where somebody asked me, well, what does he have? I don't really care, he's just my friend. Am I being Bryce's friend out of pity for Bryce, or because Janet wants me to be his friend, or Marsha, or Jen, or my mom, or any other reason? It's because I want to be Bryce's friend, and Bryce wants to be my friend.
Just before we came here, I asked Bryce if he wanted to work something up and put it on his augmented communication device. And Bryce said something that's rather disturbing. He says, no, because if I use my speech device, people will think I can't talk. And Uncle Jack will be sad if he thinks that people think I can't talk. So if we listen, we'll get signposts to tell us when we're headed in the wrong direction.
when people with disabilities, physical disabilities, for example, that affect their speech, they often are treated as if they're stupid. Or people are just not willing to invest the time that it takes to get to know them. And I think it really does go back to selfishness. We're driven in our society, I'm speaking from the standpoint of the American society of today, we're in a society that's driven by, I think, selfishness. We're all after what we want, and other people's needs are inconvenient to us. We have an agenda, we'd like to get on with it. And this is a song with a line in it, that you can speak your mind, but not on my time. And I think really that sums up some of the attitude that we have confronting people with disabilities.
To me, that's the best kept secret in education, is that when kids feel decent about themselves, miracles start to happen in terms of reading and writing and arithmetic and science and history and geography. But if they feel alone, if they feel isolated, if they feel worthless, if they think that they're, quote, disabled or different or whatever, then I don't care. You could stand on your head and spit wooden nickels and they will not learn to read and write and do science. I've seen this over and over and over. I taught a 33-year-old man to read and write who'd been in jail half his life. And he will tell you that it was because I trusted him. And I said to him, you can do it. You talk so well. If you can talk, you can read. And he learned how to read and write. And he's writing poetry now. Now that came out of the relationship that he and I have.